Everybody said Warren Buffett was not buying anything during quarantine. Was that true? Which stocks did Warren Buffett buy during lockdown? Spoiler alert, he bought back his own company. I do my best when researching to make these type of videos, but do your own research before making financial moves. Stocks buybacks refer to the repurchasing of stocks by the company who originally issued them. A buyback occurs when the issuing company pays back shareholders the market value per share and reabsorbs that portion that had originally been distributed among investors. You heard me right. We were all thinking that Buffett was making no moves during quarantine. Buffett announced he bought Berkshire Hathaway stocks. $5.1 billion worth of stocks buyback, which indicates he felt the company was at an affordable price. All we had heard until then was that Buffett sold his 4 huge positions in the 4 biggest airlines. Turns out by no means he was sitting on his hands. On the CNBC article headline, shares of Buffett's Berkshire Hathaway rise after conglomerate buys back a record amount of stock. As I wrote down, Berkshire Hathaway stock rose after the conglomerate announced that it purchased a record amount of its own equity in the second quarter. Berkshire, led by Chairman and CEO Warren Buffett, said it repurchased $5.1 billion worth in stock in May and June. Berkshire Hathaway stock rose on Monday after the conglomerate announced over the weekend that it purchased a record amount of its own equity in the second quarter. Berkshire, led by Chairman and CEO Warren Buffett, said it repurchased $5.1 billion worth in stock in May and June, split between $4.6 billion of Class B shares and $486.6 billion in Class A shares. Berkshire's Class B stock gained 1% on Monday, the first day of trading following the buyback announcement. The second quarter buybacks were more than double the $2.2 billion the conglomerate spent to buy back equity in the final quarter of 2019 and exceeds the entire value of stock Buffett repurchased in all of 2019. The action could indicate Buffett felt Berkshire's stock was undervalued earlier in the year when Class A and Class B shares plunged more than 19% in the first quarter and lagged the S&P 500 during the second quarter with declines of more than 1%. Management has attributed much of that drop to the impact of the coronavirus, which has weighed on U.S. manufacturing and industrial output since the spring. Reflecting his broader trend, Berkshire's operating income fell 10% during the second quarter. The company also took a charge of approximately $10 billion from Precision Cast Parts, Berkshire's largest business within its manufacturing segment. If you enjoy finance content, please drop a like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you get my next video. This is the best way to support the channel. Also share this video with a friend. I was watching this quick clip on Yahoo Finance News.
Let's get back to Nez Ferre with the Yahoo Finance trending ticker. Nez, Berkshire Hathaway in focus.
In focus, that's right. The company spending a record $5.1 billion buying back its own stock in the second quarter in May and in June. Now, in early May, Warren Buffett had said that he was holding on to cash to kind of see the direction of where the pandemic was going. But when looking for undervalued assets, Warren Buffett went to his own Berkshire Hathaway shares. So analysts are over at Edward Jones also are estimating that Berkshire bought $2.4 billion worth of stock in July. Some other key takeaways from Berkshire Hathaway's recent quarterly results. It sold almost $13 billion in stock, including airline stocks. We knew this because in May, during the company's shareholder meeting, Warren Buffett had said that the company had sold its stake in the major airlines. And also its operating profit dropped 10%. That still, though, came in better than what analysts had been expecting. Berkshire Hathaway did take a charge of $10 billion tied to its precision cast parts business. That's the aerospace business. And the stakes in Apple have done well, and Amazon have done well, and JP Morgan have done well. And we know also that Berkshire Hathaway recently increased its stake in Bank of America in the energy sector as well, and with plenty of cash, of course, still on hand, $146 billion of cash. Brian?
Alexis, everybody on the street is looking for Warren Buffett and making his next big acquisition. He kind of is. He's buying back Berkshire.
That's certainly true. I mean, I'll take it, Brian. You know, the fact that back in May, Warren Buffett, during the shareholder meeting, was basically saying he's holding on to cash, not really buying back shares yet. And the fact that now he's buying back, this is a record, $5.1 billion buying back his own shares of Berkshire Hathaway. I mean, that's pretty impressive.
It is, but we are, more broadly, we've seen valuations come down. I look at a Marriott. There's a well-known name. Why isn't Warren Buffett kicking a name on that? Out with earnings this morning, occupancy has fallen off the cliff, but everybody knows Marriott. I'm sure he understands Marriott too.
I'm sure so, but remember what he did with the airlines. He basically said that airline demand, that it would be very unclear what would happen after the pandemic, if the business would come back to full capacity, when it would come back. So business travelers are not traveling. So I think he may be extending that. We're not in his mind, but he may be extending that to the hotels as well. I mean, it all kind of goes in the same package. Airlines, hotels, business travel.
Hey, who are we to question Warren Buffett? All right, thanks so much.
On the second quarter of this year, 2020, April, May, June, Buffett was buying back shares of Berkshire Hathaway, increasing his position in his own company. Recently, Buffett, through Berkshire Hathaway, acquired the natural gas pipeline, which, in my opinion, is a very smart move. Natural gas is what allows us to heat up our houses during winter and to cook our food, which indicates to me that the demand is not going away anytime soon. And as I have already mentioned in my previous videos, Buffett is also investing heavy in BAC, Bank of America. Even though Buffett still has billions in cash on the sidelines, by no means Buffett and his team are sitting on their hands on the sidelines. They are making moves, acquiring new businesses, and increasing Buffett's position in the business he already owns. Surely not taking a nap, they are busy and maybe busier than ever studying and preparing for the next move. Thank you so much for watching this video. There are a few other videos coming up on the next screen. Have a delightful day.